bills. The House do me the honor to introduce to you the KNUST SRC Souvenirs and Advertising Shop Establishment Bill and the KNUST SRC Shuttle Procurement and Transportation Bill, which has been duly forwarded to the page. I sent a test earlier to the page. It is very useful. I cannot disclose what it is, but it is very useful. Please try and use it. So the KNUST SRC Shuttle Procurement Bill, I normally want to communicate what the soul of the bill is, because the committee will do the work and change a lot of things in it. So whatever it carries, most important thing is the ideology behind the bill. That is, we are hoping that ordinarily for so long, for those of us that are in final year, since our first year, we've been crying about shuttles. For those of us that are in third year, since our first year, we've been crying about shuttles. But it has become clearer that the only way we solve our transportation crisis is to pay for that. So what we are hoping to do is to deliberate on an amount for us to pay as an endowment on shuttle, so that yearly we get, I get that there's an amount they pay. We are trying to set an additional amount, and this additional amount will go solely into the procurement and not fueling, no maintenance, not anything of a sort, because the argument is how much we pay. Lots of it goes into maintenance and all that. And normally, the school has to wait for either donation or some internally generated funds to be compounded before they buy a shuttle. So now what we are trying to do, of course, it is left to the House and then the committee to tell whether the soul will be shifted or not. But what we are trying to do is, especially for people of HESA and Obuasi and off campus, we are trying to make sure that in years to come, they will benefit from this house's hard work of making sure that at least we've introduced something for the school to use solely for the sole purchasing of shuttles. And then the KNST SRC Souvenirs and Advertisement Shop Bill also looks at getting to, for those of us that are here that are familiar with the story of the UNRC, you realize that at the end of the day, there is no item. It comes from deduction of some constituencies and the SRC and all that. And let us face reality. Majority of students here on campus are off campus, or students of KNST are off campus. So to me, it sounds right to me that we start prioritizing them and give the UNRC an actual source funding for their recs. So in struggle of that, we are trying to now get a souvenir session where, just like abroad, when you buy forms and you gain acceptance, you get the option to purchase souvenirs, and then it will be sent to you thanks to our development as a country. Our career services are very active. It will be sent to you, and some percentage of those profits will be allocated to the UNRC, and also through partnership with the URO and the Estate Office, we get to establish advertisement spots on campus and off campus, and the companies that will of course use this, when they pay the monies, some percentage of those monies will also go, and those will solely be used for the funding of UNRC activities. So those are they. I would want to move to the deliberation on all existing bills. The House do me the honor to open the floor for deliberation on all existing bills. If there's anything you say or you want to say about them, finally, before we go, so that when we go on recess, we work on them and we bring the final piece for us to take our votes on them. This is the opportunity to do so. If, of course, we encourage the House that you work with the various committee heads and the committee members to make sure that whatever suggestion you have is duly acknowledged. And I'm sure by now we may have all done so. So this is the opportunity for any of us to make comments and make queries as to whether those ones were done. Honorable Pascal, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I want clarity on these comments that we are passing. Is it in form of presentation of the bills we've been working on or any other bills that you want to pass a comment on, even if you are not in that particular committee?
Oh, all bills that has come before the House, whether you're a member of the committee or not, I mean, it is here for the last deliberation.
So that means that I'll be tempted to start with our...
Yes, please.
With our bill from the Students' Mutual Fund. And so I want to share the document to the page so that we are able to go through as well.
Yes, please.
It's not coming. Okay, just a minute. Is the document come? Not yet. All right, so I've shared the document to the page. I'm sure we can take a look. So we had presented last week on this Students' Mutual Fund bill, and our recommendations were that we needed to recheck the contribution that each student was making towards it, because the initial amount was 25 cedis per student, and that is an annual contribution. So when you go to number 5, funding and payment, I hope we are all there. You realize that annual contribution has been changed from 25 Ghana cedis to 10 Ghana cedis. That is for the local students, both postgraduates and undergraduates. And then for international students, we've put it at $10 US. So the simple reason to it is that, like we argued last time, that Kenya State in its nature is a very big institution. And so when we are looking at contributions, we also have to take note of the total number of the populace of the university. And so that 10 might look small, but when you multiply by the student populace, we are over 100,000. And I'll explain how that is enough when it comes to the payment in terms of compensations. So when you go to benefits and payouts, you realize that the amount that was there first, it was 6,000 Ghana cedis. And now it has been elevated to 15,000. That's for guardian's death, for both postgrads and undergraduates. And for international students is $2,000 US. In the current market value of exchange rate is like 20,000. So when you go to students' death too, you realize that the death has quite a high and a huge pay compared to the guardian's death, because we are trying to say the students are the subject of the formula in this case. So where a student is lost, there should be much to be paid. Otherwise, the parent is like a secondary loss to the university, but the student is the primary. The same with the student's permanent disability. We were also looking at if a student is to suffer, maybe, God forbid, an accident, and they are no longer to walk, they are no longer to write, and all those types of disabilities, there should be some form of compensation for them. So we had put it at 6,000 for the local students and $700 US for the international students. And then we have the orphaned student stipend. So for this one, we are looking at if we have certain students who are orphans and they are supporting themselves in school, the school should be able to support them in a way to ease the burden. So for the local students who are orphans, it is at 6,000, and then for international students, it's 600. And other recommendations we had made included the recommendations under management and monitoring. If you go down to where it's lettered V, you see the heading, subheading management and monitoring. And so we are saying that the student mutual fund will be managed by the Student Mutual Fund Committee. And then also that all things being equal, the compensation funds should be processed and dispersed to the affected students and guardians within 2 months after the tragedy has been formally reported to the Students Mutual Fund Management Committee. This is to ensure that the funds do not over-delay to be dispersed after the students or guardians have suffered the loss. And lastly, is that the Student Mutual Fund will be audited at least once in every academic year by an independent internal or external audit unit to ensure that the funds are well utilized as outlined in Article 3+1. So what we are trying to say is every year, at least, if the funds can be audited once to check and ensure that they are being used for what the contributions were made for, I think that would be fair. So to just wrap up the submission is that we are trying to strike a balance between the contributions and the benefits that each student receives. And in this case, we are saying, look, we have a lot of students. And the question is, how much does it make altogether after they have all contributed to this fund? Then the second question is, what's the rate of the loss that the university suffers in terms of the student's death or guardian's death? So when you look at that, you realize that the rate is not so high. Approximates maybe 1 or 2 students per year, if not 1 in 2 years. I stand to be corrected, by the way. So if the student has suffered such a loss, it's a very big loss, and it has to cover some gap that the family incurs. So we need to give them something that is of a good substance, something heavy, so that when they have to cover for some of the costs, the burial and the after-burial costs, they can feel the impact that the university has on them as far as helping them during that sorrowful moment is concerned. So, fellow honorable members, this is what we, the Students Mutual Fund Bill Committee, had put in place. And it is our hope that this bill will be passed, because it is not only going to serve as a good legacy that this House has put in place, but that it will help the entire Kenya State populace. And I believe this is one way we could help understanding for our fellow students who get affected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Pascal. Honorable Anthony, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, per the deliberation that we are having here, my suggestion is that we have various bills that we want to pass. So if we are to deliberate on it, at least maybe we are deliberating on this bill. It seems like someone will talk about this bill, the other person will talk about a different bill. So this thing should be systematic. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Jake, I want to hear from you, then I'll know how to proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I might say I'm very happy that the ad hoc committee that was handling the representation for students with disability and the women's something bill, they listened to us in the previous sitting and they split the bill, and now they brought the representation for students with disability. They brought that one. But Mr. Speaker, I was going through the bill with the new bill, the revised one with the honorable members, and some redundancy occurred to us. This bill, I think it seeks to give equal right to students, equal chance to students with disability to be represented in the parliament. And I just read from the bill that they have an association in which they also hold elections and other stuff, just like any other association on campus. My concern is that if we really want to give students with disability this equal chance, then passing this bill is going to limit them to their association. We are telling them that if you want to come to, or you want to make a representation in the SRC Parliament, you need to contest in your association. I don't know whether what I'm saying is clear. But if we really have them at heart, we should not look at this bill. We should just give the chance to them to be able to contest any other position on campus.
No, the fact that the association is going to bring a rep to parliament, does still not limit them to in contesting for other positions.
But Mr. Speaker, if this bill is passed, indirectly, we are telling them that students with disability, you are welcomed. But then, the easiest way you can get to this place is to contest for an election.
So you feel that the absence of the bill promotes the voice of disabled people than the presence of the bill? That is shocking to me.
Not in that context. What I'm trying to say is that if we pass this bill, we are telling them that you have a simpler way of getting here when you contest in your association.
So, do people in Bomso constituency get to contest for SRC president?
Yes, they do.
But the easiest way to have your voice heard is to contest for Bomso MP, right? Bomso himself MP, right? So it still does not limit the people of Bomso, does it? And it's still,
Mr. Speaker,
no. What I want.
I think the house. We need to look at this bill well. We need to go through this bill. We need to have opinions on this bill because. Of
course, the people have the floor is still open for people to have, but I mean, if you feel different, they equally have the right to say whatever they want. But I seem not to get how you think that when the bill is passed, or you think that when the bill is passed, it's more or less like a mercy card on them.
Kind of.
No. You are the only person that probably feels this way. If any honorable member feels that way, please, may I have your hand up? You're the only person that feels this way. That somebody who is wearing a dirty clothes, and you feel that if you give the person a number of clothes or a wardrobe of clothes, you are rather trying to say the person is pitiful. How is it so?
Okay. It's quite unfortunate other honorable members don't see through the lens I'm seeing, but I wish to I'll try to make my submission clearer in subsequent engagement with them, and I'll see. Because the way I see the bill is, as I said, it's quite unfortunate the other honorable members don't see it that way. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Truth is that the first time the House tried something of this sort, it was actually a petition of DS to be part of Parliament. So you cannot tell that their suggestion is rather pitiful on them. They suggested that they want to be part of Parliament, and the House is considering them. So it is not that they are somewhere and we are subjecting on them that they should come to Parliament. They think that disabled people are not looked at because most disabled people want to have their voice heard and they want to be part of student legislation. So I would take Honorable Anthony's advice and I would want us to deliberate on the disabled representation for disabled persons revised bill first. Any further minds to talk on the disabled persons representation? Honorable Godfrey, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable. Yeah, Right Honorable, please. Before I would like to make my statement, I want to ask, do these disabled people on campus have the equal rights we have in terms of contesting for position?
Yes.
Then I think if they want to be part of parliament, it's very easy. We all know how to be a parliamentarian. So currently as we are speaking, there is a disabled candidate aspirant at BOMSO contesting to be an MP. So I think they are not prevented from coming to parliament.
But as a disabled person, the reality is that even for us, going to grounds, going from room to room, going to places is another big hurdle to battle with. So think of a disabled person saying he wants to be SRC president or he wants to be Canada General Secretary. The stress there, how many rooms? So they will be losing unless some sympathy falls from somewhere. And you know that's one of the most disgusting things, that you're going to tell people that because I'm disabled, I'm more competent than Honorable Ismon. Because, is it true? No, Parliament is not matters. We are not going to run there. We are going to speak minds. But there are physical hurdles to their... so, in as much as they have those... yes, please. Please, any person, any other honorable to talk on the... Yeah. Honorable Agatha.
Hello. So thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker. So just a quick response to what Honorable Godfrey said. So yes, they have equal rights as any other students on campus. But the thing is that they face certain obstacles that we on the average don't face. So as a result, in the spirit of equity, we should give them a representation in the parliament. But even moving beyond that, I think that in the bill, right?
Yes, please.
It says that the title and scope. This bill shall apply to all undergraduates and postgraduate students of KNUST who identify as persons with disability. I think my problem here is with the phrase identify as students with disability. Because then the way that the world is moving, anyone can just get up and say, I identify as a student with disability. So then are there criteria that have been thought of in the committee to screen what exactly can be defined as a disability? Or from the bill that I've actually read the bill, should we just take it that if you are part of the association, if you have issues with hearing, sight, intellect, then that would classify you solely as a student with disability? I think that we need to be very clear on what exactly we are defining as a student with disability. Thank you. Thank you,
Honorable Agatha. I think the easiest thing is to say who are disabled, because the school has its criteria for disability. So we should, if you say who are disabled, then it is within the context of the association. And the association also has their criteria. So let's not even go into trying to list for them what disabled people are qualified to come here. The association knows which people. So they should just change the, excuse me to say, the language to who are and not identified. Because I have watched a video where a guy says he identifies as tortoise. So he was crying crawling in trying to move from the other side of the road to the other. Whilst vehicles were busily wanting to pass, he says he identified as tortoise. And I was very shocked. And then it got to a point, the guy was pissed and the guy pushed him, and then he was... So please, it's not identification. It is who are disabled. Thank you, Honorable Agatha. Honorable Paul.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think the committee, the ad hoc committee that was given the task to deliberate or make more findings about it. I have a question for them. I would like to ask them if they got the criteria that they ask for disabled students. Thank you very much. And I have a follow-up question after that.
Thank you. Honorable Paul, please do not sit. Stand. Since you have a follow-up question. Honorable Chelsea, did you get the criteria? No, please. Okay.
It's understandable, Mr.
It's understandable.
There's a lot of work.
So you said there is a lot of work.
Work on a plate, so it's understandable.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I have to say is that we have people that cannot hear being part of the disabled students on campus.
I think yes.
We have.
Yes.
So we have to set some requirements.
No,
If
the school has and the association have.
No, I'm coming.
Yes,
I'm
please.
saying that as Parliament, we have to set requirements for how these individuals
Would be represented here.
Because most of our conversations, I mean, we have it verbally, right? So if someone who cannot hear is in Parliament, we have to additionally get someone. I'm not saying it's a bad bill. I mean, I support it. But if someone who cannot hear is coming to Parliament, then Parliament too should make provision for someone who would, one way or the other, interpret some of these things to this individual. Should we get someone who cannot see, then we should get someone that would assist that individual in Parliament. That is my submission on that. Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Thank you. Honorable Jake, you have the floor. Yes, please.
It's stated in the bill already. That clarification had been made verbatim in the bill that eligibility and criteria for candidates to ensure that the elected representative is capable of fully participating in parliamentary activities and deliberations. The following conditions must be met by any candidate, and then the conditions were listed.
Okay, so I think that has been kept for.
I think it's on page 2.
Yeah, because I think that the fact that it's people with disability, you do not necessarily have to be here to have your voice heard. I don't think necessarily we have to get, even if we have to get somebody who cannot see as a parliamentarian. At least the person at best should be able to see and hear. So that's, I mean, there are vast instances that makes one disabled. So at best, the person can fully participate and champion the interests of the people well. So that would, of course, be to the people, but I'm happy that the bill has catered for. Shall we move to deliberations on the mutual fund? Honorable Paul, you have something to say about the disability?
Yes, please, a quick one. Mr. Speaker, because I cannot hear, I shouldn't be in Parliament.
That's not what we are saying.
So what are you saying?
Honorable Paul, please have your seats. Please have your seats. Honorable Jake.
See in the bill as to how many people from the association is coming to Parliament, because
A person.
just the
Yeah.
but I don't see it in the bill. It's not stated.
Is it cited in the bill? But it said a representative. Oh, that is comprehensible, Honorable. It said a representative. There is.
I think the bill must be clear enough.
It is clear. How many?
It's not.
What is the representation for BOMSO in Parliament? Oh, if you say a representative, he is talking about the number. Yes, please, Honorable Pascal.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I've been offended since the beginning because now they're like decorations. So I think it's speaking of, when we are talking of representation, we have to be specific to avoid confusions. And the confusion may arise from what if 3 people are all interested to come here? And how will that be determined? So you see, for most of us here, we come here because it is clearly stated who should be here. So we cannot let it be an anonymous representation. So let's specify if it is the president and maybe let's say the general secretary, if it is the finance officer, if it is the PRO, so that whenever they have voted, they know that, okay, this is the person who has to go to Parliament. It will save us to have order and avoid confusion. Thank you very much.
So the president, I think they'll make that changes.
No, I think they have to be two, because it will not be fair on their side that the rest of the associations.
But Grasag also has just one. Grasag has just, yes, please.
Where is the Grasag group?
Grasag president has abandoned his duty as a member of parliament.
No, but in this case, okay, we can leave it that way. But
yeah,
for me, I would have loved if we were given 2 slots. It also makes them feel extremely included.
Thank you.
I mean, we have enough seats.
Yes, Speaker.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much for recognizing me, Mr. Speaker. So, what they are saying, and then how the document is drafted. I mean, it's clear enough for you to understand that someone is going to be elected, represent them in parliament, and then they are going to have their president. Their president will be there, someone or their member of parliament will be here. That is what is stated
I think that is also a very fine metric that not necessarily the presidents. They can.
Speaker, please, I would like to read point 3, first point. It says that the representative for disabled persons shall be elected by the members of the Disabled Students Association through a simple majority vote. So it didn't say that the president should come. It's saying that they will vote for someone again to represent them in parliament.
I think that is even better, because sometimes the president might not be the best person to be here. So if the president wants to, that is fine. Honorable Tando and Honorable Jake, I want you to tell Honorable Godfrey what you want to say, because I want Honorable Godfrey to talk. But since you are sitting together, can you please tell him what you want? And they are all points of information. Don't tell me this one he did. They are all points of information, so please. It's still information, so ask him, he will ask for you. Please, I want us to be very swift with them so that. Honorable Ismail, you want to talk? Honorable Ismail, talk. The Honorable Opari will talk. It looks like he wants to fetch more information.
Thank you for the opportunity, Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker. Please, it has to do, I know it doesn't have to do with the bill, but it has to do with here, the sitting, right? Or the sittings we have here. We all know that the microphones we use here is one of the key elements in our dealings here, right? And then my honorable member would want to speak, and a microphone would have to be passed to him or her to speak. As well as I know, at the national state or nationally, they have their own way of doing things, and then we are should I say, emanating them, right? So at this level, please excuse me. So at this level, if the microphones are here and then they are not working, please, I think it's really appalling. That's just one thing I just want to draw your attention.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Madam Clerks, please acknowledge that. Honorable Godfrey, you talk. Honorable Tando will talk. Do you still want to talk, or he will say your question for you? Honorable Jake, do you please still want to talk? Honorable L, you are looking very handsome. Someone is smiling. Honorable L, please, I think your seat is in front here. You did not forget your position. Yes, please, Honorable Godfrey.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I heard Honorable Patricia saying that Honorable is gifted, and that statement, we have to go deeper. There's a lot in that
Honorable,
statement.
before you rose to speak, Honorable L was not here. I don't know how your first concern is. Honorable L.
So, Right Honorable, please, back to my point of information. And before that, the questions from my honorable members.
Oh, I'll allow him to talk, so you just say yours.
Oh, okay.
But I just want it to be swift so that they can all talk.
Okay, please. So I had wanted to say that Honorable Paul asked the question. He said, in this case, who is that representative? And I wanted to add that maybe it should be the president, if possible. because the moment we have president, before electing someone as parliamentarian in the same association, it's
too costly.
Yeah, because
costly.
because when the president is the spokesperson of the association, so when that same person comes here and make decision and he's delivering it to his own people, it's very easy. Then different person will come and make decision here.
So let's not challenge their constitution.
Yes, please. So I think we should let the president do that. Okay. And also, the committee didn't tell us where's the disability, the caucus they are going to belong. So as they are working on their document, they should work on that side. These disabled people.
I think that will be left to the committee responsible for constitutional review, and they would, in addition, review our standing orders. So we will deal with that and put them somewhere.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
Sure. Honorable Tando, do you still? Oh, okay. Honorable Jake, do you still? All right, sure. So let's move to the mutual fund. Please, the mutual fund. Because I remember very well that the last concerns were from Honorable Pascal, and that has been duly acknowledged. Honorable Anthony, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're welcome.
Mr. Speaker, I have scrutinized through all those bills that we are to deliberate on. And in fact, most of the bills, we are to add additional money to the fees that we are paying. And in fact, there are certain things that...
Please, how many of the bills? Because what I know, it is mutual fund already, it is there. We are not adding. SRC shop, we are not adding. It's partnership. Nooks, we are paying, yes. SRC farms, we are paying. Nooks and SRC farms together is 5 cities. Mid-semester, we are not paying. Global, we are not paying. Disabled, we are not paying. 10 gig is out of the table for now because negotiations are still on. So is out for now. And the souvenirs and advertising, even though those, I've even mentioned in extra, but it's just 2 that we are paying as at now. So if you say most, it defeats the nature of the reality we are working on here.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the clarification. But my point is, if we do observation, some of them, we are going to add...
but please, not to cut you short, but I want the House to observe that, if you are going to eat one day, how much does it cost to eat a day? About 60 cedis. And that's, if you are going to... Okay, so what I seek to communicate is the House. We were here when we all paid 100 cedis in addition to our fees. Most of us don't even know what it was used for. So if you are going to pay even 20 cedis to bring us progress, we should not be... I get that the compound is huge, but it is just like giving 2 cedis out for you to have, and the replication is what we are looking at. In the past House, they cried about 10 gig. 10 gig was so much because 10 gig was, the 10 gig was about, is it 30 or 25? That is huge. But if you are talking about 2 cedi, 3 cedi, please, let's not put in the student's head as if we are trying to add so much an amount to their fees. Please, let's not try to communicate as if we are adding so much stress to them. It's just 2 cedi, 5 cedi. And nobody here can say 2 cedi, 5 cedi in our current dispensation is not just. What does it buy? What does it buy? Let's be honest. It buys though, but what I want you to understand, if you are paying 2 cedi, 3 cedi for a hostel to be built, for shuttles to be bought, well, please, we have paid 100 cedis and then not to put dent on its implication, but we have paid 10 cedis that we all didn't want to, I said 10 cedis, 100 cedis that we all didn't want to pay. And it didn't even come from the people we voted for that they should represent us for our progress. But this is people, we are persons that have been voted for progress. So thank you, Honorable Anthony. Please, you may speak.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. But my point is, there are certain things that we pay, of which there is no real accountability. For example, we are paying an amount for student guide. You're not getting it. So why don't we channel that part to fortify these things.
You see, the truth is that we can later ask them to take it out, but that's a different part. Because that will have to go through the registrar and for them to review the items and how much time do you have? So we can add and later fight that fight. Do you get what I mean? Because I've already spoken about the ICT and they are telling us we have to work on it. We have to make an official requirement that maybe pass a bill for the removal of the ICT fees from the, or we are making requests to the UITS or the Technology Service Department of the university to explain it to us. If they fail, then we take it out. Because some of these things, if you are going to talk, if just words will not do. So, Honorable Anthony, that is my saying. That is it. Please, are you done? Or you still want to?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. But I'm still on my point.
Yes, please.
That there are certain things we pay for it.
Yeah, we don't see it.
So there's nothing that we can do about it. We can do it now. Mr. Speaker, we can try our best and do it now. And even if you go to the house, we are paying all ICT fees, about 84 cities. And we don't have any ICT labs. So these things, we can channel all these things and make it work. So thank you very much.
So that was you agree that we should probe into the ICT fees and if not, take it out. But I think that can be a different exercise. We can even add that one to our, we can even use part of that for the 10 gig, use part of, so that our school fees do not increase. Use part of that for UNRC. We can now sit and then even look at what to do with the 84 cities. So I think that, please, madam, the clerk table should take that into notice. The House will work on it. Honorable Tando, you have the floor. The Honorable Patricia will speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, my question is simple, okay? It has to do with the disbursement of the benefits.
For the mutual fund?
Yes. So, what is the time frame? We didn't get a time frame. If the situation happens, okay, so let's take if the situation happens today, what's the time frame that the person who is involved, okay, will get the benefits? So, please, I'd like to ask my committee to work on that.
Yes, please. Honorable Pascal will answer. Honorable Pascal, please, you have the floor. The Honorable Patricia will speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, I want to assume my fellow honorable member did not follow us closely when we were reading the bill, because we clearly stated it. And so I want him to go to letter V on the bill and read under management and monitoring. And that is the second bullet, which says, all things being equal, the compensation funds should be processed and dispersed to the affected students and guardians within 2 months after the tragedy has been formally reported to the Students' Mutual Fund Management Committee. So I think that's the answer. What we are trying to do is to make sure that, first of all, for us to start the counting, the tragedy that occurred has to be formally reported. Not where you have a side talk with the committee and you say, no, I'm now counting. No. So you put in your formal request or your formal report of the tragedy to the committee, and then we give them a space of 2 months because of other financial processes. And I believe that is quite fair enough on both the bereaved and the committee to process it all. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Honorable Tando, please, your information.
So, Mr. Speaker, to add to what I said, okay, so Honorable Pascal, mine has to do with what I said being the Constitution, okay, so that it won't be that once we've passed the budget, there's nothing to enforce what I'm trying to say, okay, with the time frame. Do you get my question?
It should be in what?
It should be in the mutual fund.
It is in it. The time they've stipulated is in the bill, actually.
No, I'm talking about disbursement of the fund.
Should be in what?
Don't get me. I'm talking about disbursement of the benefits.
Yeah.
Okay? When the situation happens, okay, the time period which the person is going to get the benefits. That's what I'm talking about.
The 2 months. It is 2 months. He has just said that it's 2 months.
So, I don't know if maybe, but I was saying that when the tragedy has occurred, right, for us to start, there should be, let me say, starting point for us to start counting so we know the time frame. And we are saying that if a tragedy occurs, you have to formally report to the committee. So I was reading on letter V, under management
Honorable, please, are you paying
monitoring.
attention? Because I will not call you
Letter
again.
V, under management and monitoring. And I was emphasizing to say that all things being equal, meaning that maybe the school has not gone on closure or we don't have any unforeseen circumstances that would disturb the normal operations of the school management. All things being equal, the compensation funds should be processed and disbursed to the affected students and or guardians within 2 months after the tragedy has been formally reported to the Students' Mutual Fund Management Committee. What we are trying to say is we can't give, let me say, a definite time or date when it has to be given, but we can give a time frame, and this is the time frame because we are trying to be fair on both sides. Most of us here, I think we are presidents and, let me say, general secretary. You realize that, for example, at DOSA, for most funds to be released, it's like a month or 3 weeks. You understand?
Allowance.
So we are trying to make it that 2 months is enough for that to be processed. And also that 2 months is still a better time to compensate because definitely the loss is still fresh and the pain is still being felt by the bereaved. So that's the answer. I don't know if that's answered.
Please. You see, we did not come on time. You have about 30 minutes to the stipulated time. I know that we filed for addition, but please, let's try to make our things, let's try to make it as fast as possible. Our answers, our questions, and everything, because we have a lot of other bills. Honorable Opari, please, you have the floor. Then, I think Honorable Patricia was even supposed to speak.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable. So, very quick one, please. I want to ask, so, in case within this stipulated time, the 2 months, the committee are not able to meet what they are supposed to do, what can the victim do to them?
In case they are not able to do it.
The 2 months given to them, maybe as stated here.
If they will not, I think that we should be realist. We can, if they are not able to, let's say, Republic all wants to do aerobics, and within 2 months, the money is not coming. It means that there is something, we don't know what can prevent that. But if something is preventing it, we cannot even tell what would stop them from giving you the money in 2 months. If you filed, you have all necessary documents. Money is there. It's not like money is not there. So what can we do?
Right, Honorable. I think because we are human beings.
But they will not fail to give you the money.
But we don't know. They are human beings. Human beings are going to work there. So
Has it ever happened that any of you have made request from DOSA or from the school, and they say they will not, if you've met all criteria, and they say they won't give you the money?
Right, Honorable. As we are speaking now, we are all student leaders. We are being told from the account office that if you want to organize program, 2 weeks before your program, submit your budget. And most of the leaders here can testify to this, that more than a month, sometimes your money will not come.
Yes, that's why they've given 2 months.
Do you get it? So that's what we want to know, that after the 2 months, if they are not able to meet their demands...
It means that realistically, within 3 weeks, your money should come. If it does not come, it means that you either made a mistake in your processing or something of it's not. I have not seen it happen. I feel like, to me, realistically, I feel that to me, that is not it's not in nature. It's not something that 2 months and your money is not coming. Is it that there is no money? I think it is either there is no money. You just follow up. I don't think we should go into, if 2 months the money is not coming, now go and do this. If we cannot, I think the truth is that for everything we have done here as a house, we could have done more. For every law, for every legislation we have done here, we could have done more. But we just try to do the basics. Imagine the SRC, those that drafted the Constitution wanted to probe into possible future occurrences. The Constitution would have been like this. But it's just the basics. Then we go. If anything happens, they can write to the board. That is, I think there is a committee like that. and ask why their money is, then they'll just follow up. Because I think that if you don't take care, we'll prop too much into things, and then we'll make the things so complex that even the people we put on the boards will not be happy to be on the board. And will delay us to, yes. Yeah, so.
I think from my point, I was kind of
I
taking it from
get
different
you.
perspective that we should have at least some laws governing the people on this committee too, because sometimes a victim will meet all the necessary requests and still maybe a failure of them not to process things on time, and that person will be there waiting. So maybe if after the 2 months you don't maybe receive response from them, you don't hear anything from them, these are the legal processes you can go as a victim when such thing happens.
Yes, please. We've heard you.
I was expecting something like
yes,
that.
Please. We've heard you.
Thank you.
Honorable Jake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please, when you look at the last sentence in the introduction, it says that cases of unforeseen life events such as the death and disability of a guardian or student. Please, with the accommodation support, is that one limited to those unforeseen life events listed in the introduction, the death and disability?
It's not limited to.
Is
it limited to
accommodation support? Is that one tied to whether or not you've lost a guardian or something like that?
Yes. Honorable Pascal, is a yes, right? That's whether or not you get.
If let's say,
because the
accommodation support
is a benefit of the bills, right? Of the bill. So of course it's tied to what the instances are. Whether you've lost a parent, whatever is in the bill, what the bill captures the instances to be. Do you get what I mean?
But Mr. Speaker, we know that there could be students who genuinely need accommodation support, but then they've not lost their guardian or something.
So you want us
like
to also pass bills and give people? DOSA does that already. DOSA give support to students that are in dire needs of accommodational support. They do that. But we are looking at students that happen to be victims of having to lose their parents or guardian or something of a sort. Yes, please. Honorable Tando, the Honorable Teresa. But please, let's be swift. Some of the questions, let's be swift, okay, please.
Mr. Speaker, mine has to do with the...
Please, I kept these things on the page that look at it and tell me. Nobody, you all ignore the thing. Right now, we've not even gone on recess. Oh. Please, I'm listening to you. But I just want you, I have the right to vent because I asked you people to. Well, now you won't ask your question again. Thank God. Thank you so much for saving us 20 minutes. Honorable Teresa. Honorable Teresa, please talk.
Yes, one. I want the committee to please tell us what they mean by permanent disability. They should define it in the bill so we don't have people coming up to think their disability is permanent.
I would want us to leave that to the board. The reason is that we all know what permanent disability is, right? Is that? Oh, but we all know. If we say people, all females, we all know who a female is. We don't have to go and define a female is this in the bill. Honorable Jake, please, I refuse to call you. Honorable Agatha, then Honorable Agatha.
Okay, thank you. I think I just need clarifications on the presentation you gave on the bill. So each Ghanaian student is paying 10 cedis, and then each foreign student is paying $10. So that means that there's a limit to the funds that we have for the Student Mutual Fund, right? There's a limit to it.
Is that each student is paying?
The pool of finances that will be going to this bill. Okay. So you were talking about some statistics that on average you'd get in 2 years 1 student dying. But then I'm thinking about the feasibility of this bill when it applies to the guardians of students. If we have about 100 guardian deaths in a year, is there a screening process to determine who is going to receive the funds or not? Because I'm unsure as to how the funds is going to accommodate all of these people. And the second student or a guardian, does it mean that one student would be eligible to receive 15,000 for a guardian's death, and in addition, was it 6,000 for accommodation support in these trying times? So then they are eligible to receive, what's 15 plus 6? That's 21,000, or my math is whatever. But like, are they eligible to receive 21,000? So these clarifications, I think if answered and stipulated in the bill, would be very beneficial and useful.
Honorable Pascal, what I also want to touch is, the truth is that whatever money we are paying, if you are paying 30 cedis, if they were paying 30 cedis to whatever insurance company there is, and we want to reduce the amount, what would the remainder be used for? That's why I felt that it's not even necessary that we even touch the amount they were paying. You get me? What we can do is increase the benefits we were getting. You get me? And surely we've increased the benefits. But if you're increasing the benefits and lessening the amount, also because you do not, it's just because it's not spoken of. So you don't know how many people lose their parents. But once we publicize that when you lose your parents, you realize that we have probably done that, especially when a lot of people are not enticed to it because the process is long. You have to go to Accra and all that. But once it is here, a lot of people are going to, so if you lessen the amount, I don't know, but that is subject to the committee. But my advice would be that we keep the amount, how much they were taking there, because it's not going to increase our school fees, even though it would. And what is our chances that they would even accept that now that we've lessened it? Because if we've lessened it, it will just go into internal generated fund. And a lot of students will be going for their money, and they'll say that because you lessened the amount, just less of the money is coming to us, so we don't have monies to give students anymore. Do you get me, please? Yeah, so do we choose to, now that we've increased the benefit, do we choose to maintain the amount or we want to lessen it? Because it will just go into IGF, internal generated fund. But I doubt that the university will accept that they want to reduce the school fees by, how much was it? 25 cedis and $25. Reduce it by 15 cedis because you are paying 10 cedis. I doubt. And the truth is that the next time the council sitting that holds that, by the time our house would have been dissolved, because that's in October. So there wouldn't even be a house to even hold them. And then the coming house, we don't have any influence on them. You get it? So that's it's a loophole. And I think that we should the increasing of the benefits is right. So it is either we are increasing the benefits so much, or maybe, I don't know, but I doubt that they would actually do that.
But Mr. Speaker, sorry to cut you. I think that during the discourse that you were having with, was it one of the honorables over here, it came up that what exactly is this bill going for? The deaths of students and their guardians, or for the welfare in general?
It's not. The welfare is because if you take care of somebody whose parents is no more, it is their welfare needs you are catering for. So but it is specifically for the death of students.
So that means that such a student is entitled to all of these benefits that are applicable to him or her.
Yes.
So then one student can receive up to 21,000 cedis and above.
Yes.
Okay.
Honorable Pascal, please, we want to hear from Honorable Pascal. Honorable Jake, we'll let you talk.
It will be a long day. All right, so thank you very much for the concerns and the questions. So to begin with, I want to clarify what this bill is going to cover when it comes to supporting students. So it is covering two major parts: the death and permanent disability. And that is while you are still registered and active as a Kenya State student. And then for the death is either as a student or your guardian. Now, the guardian is not any random guardian. It's the guardian in charge of paying your school fees. If you're, pardon?
Yes. Yes. The one on
Exactly,
the
the one
university
you wrote on
documents.
the admission, meaning that if it is your uncle or somebody else who does, you can't go and claim this support. Then also as a student, when you die, definitely it's not you who's going to get it. It is your family because you are no more. And then for the permanent disabilities, the same thing again applying. It is going only to the person directly responsible for your fees. And also to you, the student, for example, like you are on Kenya State campus, and God forbid you are bashed by a car. You can no longer move as you used to. That's a permanent disability. It is one that we are sure and certain of that you will never walk again. So I'm sure I've even answered my honorable question of, well, what are we meaning when we talk of permanent disability? So now, coming to the figures, what I want us to understand is, when you are looking at insurance, it's not as easy as it sounds. In fact, if you've insured a car before, you realize that insurance companies are one of the hardest teams to work with. Not because they don't want to give you the funds, but they have to exhaust all evidences and reasons for your claims. So it does not just mean that because you claim you're an orphan, you'll be given. No, you have to prove, bring certificates, show us that you really need this. If, let me say, you've suffered some loss and you are claiming that you are permanently impaired, you have to look at the case. It should not be just some impairment of your one finger and then you want the whole compensation. No, it has to be up to the weight that we are looking at. And so coming to those figures, what we are trying to say is, look, if we really want people to feel the impact of this bill, then they should get something of substance, something heavier. And that's why it will not be given anyhow. In the sense that, for example, I think most of us have been watching news, right? The current tragedy event in India, where a plane crashed and those people, did you see the money that the airplane pledged to give to the bereaved families? It is an amount that, wow, you'll be crying, but at least you know that you don't have any cost to bear for the burial and the likes. That's what we are talking about. We are talking about giving a compensation that will mean something. Otherwise, if we just say, let's give 6K, I mean, what's 6K? You go to Accra, you come back, you are remaining with less, you understand? So we are trying to also look at giving something that both the students or the parents, can appreciate. So that amount, it has been put that way, not solely to say that everybody who comes will get, no. But those who have the chance to get will benefit greatly. And I'll go back to our calculations because that's what matters when it comes to insurance. For those who may not have been maybe a chance to learn about insurance in business, I just want to speak briefly. What happens is a lot of you are contributing, but only few are suffering loss. And this is what it is. As the school is collecting this is like, let me say, a latent information that we might not know. Explicitly, we know that it is just being collected for our student welfare. But latently, it is also being collected to also help as part of internally generated fund. So it will not be kept in the bank. It will be reinvested. Are we understanding? So what we need the most is to ensure that the people who we are standing for are our co-interest and receive what they deserve. So because of that, we have reduced the amount they are contributing with evidence in mind, knowing that it will still be enough because, yes, we are a big university, and if everybody is to contribute, let's say we have 120,000, and we are talking of compensating people. If it is 20K, maybe in a year we can only compensate 3 who prove to have proper documents or evidence of their loss. And it will be much sensible than maybe compensating 100 people and we are giving them 2K. I don't know if we get the reasoning behind it. So that's what we are looking at. And then there's one loophole that my colleagues just informed me that has to do with let me say, the representation on the board. So we are going to include that. I will be able to select who goes on the board, like, is it undergrad or postgrad? Otherwise, I'm trusting I've answered those concerns, unless if there's any other. But again, this is still a bill. That's why we are still deliberating on. If you need any changes, we can still consider and make those changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Paul.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, if this bill should be passed, just as we are seeing, needs, the people that we represent needs to be informed, right? So I think one way or the other, we should put it in the bill that in the admission letter that will be given to you, stated that if your guardian is dead or if there is a permanent, this is what is in. So that if my father is reading this, you get to understand that I'm sending my son to this, he's entitled to this. So, it will not happen. Both ways. Should anything bad happen to you, this is what we, the family, get. That is one submission.
I think that is already in the university website. Just that when we pass, they will now revise the items on the university website.
I'm talking about admission letter.
So before you apply for any university, you look at, I think it's a financial and financing and something. If you've tried applying for it, it's always there. What benefits you get? What are the financial benefits you are privy to? So they'll just revise it.
But Mr. Speaker, there is nothing wrong if we add it to the admission letter.
The admission letter, the reason is that, Honorable Paul.
Well, if that's what you say, Mr. Speaker, I understand.
We will now have to go and talk to the office of the registrar that students now, have you seen the admission? The admission letter is a single thing you receive.
There is
you see the things on it, the ones you go for. They cannot add that when you have school fees. I don't know if any of you have seen those ones before. And that they are not going to add that you have received admission from BA, then when your parents die, we will give you money. Oh, honorable.
Well, Mr. Speaker, every day is another day to learn. However, I think it will be part of the SRC's duties.
Yes, of course.
Voice it out for our people to hear. Me being Republic War President, if this should happen, I'll make sure that every room in Republic War hears of this.
Yes.
It's a very nice avenue that this Parliament is bringing.
Yes, please.
Secondly, Mr. Speaker, with a house like this, there should be an office designated for them. There should be an office.
Yeah, they will actually have an office.
Thank you. And then the amounts that we are talking about, I think there should be...
Marshal, please, those that just went, let them leave. Yes, please.
There should be a different bank account for this. I think, Mr. Honorable Pascal, I believe you should state it that there should be a different bank account for it. We don't want a situation where it will be difficult for us to get accountability and stuff. So let's get a different bank account, a new office designated for that. But this is a very nice, bill that we are talking about. And then it is stated that it will replace the insurance that we have. Is that a conversation? So there wouldn't be an increase in the fees that we pay. Is that a conversation? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Ojek, please, you have the floor, then we move to...
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, one more concern. I think
Mr. Speaker.
This is a serious house.
Honorable Jake, please permit me to.
Yes, this is a serious house to the extent that honorable members cannot just go out, shout, and come and sit down. That is very, very disrespectful.
Honorable Paul, thank you, and please have your seats.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Jake, please talk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for coming in for us. I would like to express my gratitude to our lawyers who represented us in our case.
Honorable, please make it quick, please.
Yes, we are very excited about that, and we thank God. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the bill well, when you look at the numbering...
Honorable, has the case been finalized? Has it been tried? Has it been tried?
I refuse to comment on that.
Then please retract your acknowledgement of the lawyers.
Okay.
The reason is that if you are thanking them, and the case has not been tried. It looks like...
Mr. Speaker, what I did was that I was expressing my gratitude to them for accepting to represent us.
In what?
Though
in
our case against the EC.
That's what?
Yes.
Please, I want to know more. Now that you have got it.
It's a case we had against the EC. I'm not at liberty to disclose.
Then if you are not at liberty to also thank them. Or?
Oh, for the gratitude, I'm at liberty to express it.
Please, yes. Please.
Mr. Speaker, I'll move on to the bill. When you look at the numbering and the indentation of the items in the bill.
Yes, please.
I think it's saying something else. For instance, what is supposed to be the number 2, but then the number was 6. When you look at it, that benefits and payouts. And the first item there is guardian's death.
So they should look at the numbering.
Yes.
Okay.
So not it doesn't have to do with the numbering, but I just wanted other honorable members to follow what I'm saying. So when you look at the 6, there are benefits and payouts. Guardian's death. Then it has listed some payouts the person will be getting, the victim. Then student's death. When you follow that trend, the bill seems to be saying that when your guardian dies, the undergraduate is going to get 15,000 Ghana cedis. When I move on to the next thing, when the student dies, and the student is a local student, the student is going to get 20,000. I'll skip the second part. And in the case where the guardian of the student has a permanent disability, and then it's, when you look at the last one, the second to last, the accommodation support. What I'm trying to say is that the accommodation support is not tied to the fact that the victim's parents or guardian must be dead or should have any kind of disability or something. I think just like the existing welfare support, the bill, you can just apply for accommodation support. When you look at
what is the soul of the bill?
The soul of the bill.
Read the preamble of the bill.
Yeah, this is the report from, the Students' Mutual Fund Bill 2025 is a comprehensive proposal aimed at establishing a university, internally managed financial safety net for all students. The bill seeks to ensure financial security, transparency in management, and responsiveness to the diverse welfare needs of students in cases of unforeseen life events, such as the death and disability of the guardian.
So if these instances are not happening, how do you go and apply for accommodation and support? So the bill does not communicate anything else. No, what you are failing to see is, if the item is in the bill, it is subject to the preamble of the bill. You don't now have to go and then fetch your own meaning for an item in the bill. It never happens anywhere. You sign a contract. In the contract, they say this happened. It's subject to the preamble of the contract. Now don't go and say that because this is, please, shall we move to the mid-semester break bill? Deliberations on the mid-semester break. Honorable Anthony, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'm sorry for drawing us back. I have a certain submission that I want
on the mutual fund?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So, Mr. Speaker, my submission is that if you look through the management, it's Students' Common Fund Committee, meaning that most of the members managing this should be students. But if you check through, you see that directorate will be to people and undergraduates. Aside that, financial experts, there's no
everything students has a fraction of management in it.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I understand this. But if you check the probability, you see that financial experts, we don't know whether this financial expert is...
no, it will have its own, common fund. I think there's secretariat or something. So, and the secretariat, the secretariat will of course be managed by people who have been those that actuarial science, when they pass and become professional, what do they call them? Actuaries. And those people That is why in the processes, it's just the board that you have some students. The fact that it is for students does not mean necessarily students should be managing the funds.
Mr. Speaker, I understand this.
Yes,
but
please.
My point I want to make is that if it is student common fund, then students must be included more than the other session that we are beginning. Because
Please, I want to put this to vote. The reason is that they would make the necessary changes and they would just take votes after recess. But I want to put this to vote. The Honorable House, all those that are in favor that students be in, is it the secretariat or the board? Have you read is it the secretariat, the representation on the board or the secretariat?
Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about two representatives from director.
What is the heading for that?
Students Mutual Fund Bill 2025.
No, where they've listed this. What's the heading for? The composition for what will be?
The composition of the Students' Welfare Insurance Committee.
Committee. So it's the committee you are talking about. That's why we have no problem. If you want more students to be on, that is fine. By the secretariat, of course. How many students work at those accounts office? But yet it's for students. Honorable Pascal, please, you want to talk? Please, let's be swift as possible. It's just...
Sure. I want to quickly ask all our honorable members in the House to be honest with ourselves. If you are the final say with the money you are managing for the constituents, how would you use it? If you are the final say, you are not submitting to DOSA, to any dean, to any lecturer, how would you use it? I'm sure by now would have deficit. Truth be told. So what we are trying to say is, this is serious business and it has to be handled by an expert. If not, a member of staff who will ensure that the right procedures and the right beneficiaries are given these funds. It's just like the way we have funds of our associations. It does not mean that because the students have contributed, then it is us who should have the final say. If it was that way, trust me, most of the funds would have been mismanaged and would not have been able to do the activities that we are doing. The same applies to this bill. What we are putting the students there is as a representation and to also speak on behalf of those affected students. But remember that every student might not be as genuine as they seem. And so it is important that we let another independent body lead this committee. Just like we have those, these are things we are observing every day. I want us to be honest with ourselves. If we leave a student...
I think, no, but I'm not trying to cut you. I think there is a part where quarterly they report to Parliament. So we don't even have to...
Yes, and we have audits every year.
So we don't necessarily...
So please, that's the clarification I wanted to make.
Honorable, please. Please, when we go on recess, try and convince him to edit it and before we do the... Please, I'm begging, I want us to move. Try and convince Honorable
Yes, please,
Pascal.
we are open for corrections.
Convince Honorable Pascal to change. I'm begging you so that we can, because you have a lot of bills to deliberate. So, please, the mid-semester break. Honorable Paul.
Thank you very much.
Break. Deliberations of mid-semester break.
Mid-semester break, yes. So, it is stated, point 4, that is scheduling and implementation of the mid-semester break. Yes. You see, the focus of this bill, I don't know that handled it, but the focus of this bill is for us to reinstate the mid-semester break, isn't it? So why are you talking about SRC week and college week in the mid-semester bill? Please, it should be out.
One of the guidance for one of the reasons why after piloting it they didn't bring it back was when students go home a week after the mid-semester, they come back like next 2 weeks. Do you get it? So to make our case strong, don't forget that this is going to go through the academic board and the university council. And you have to make a stronger case. It has been, they brought the idea and the council, because when the students go, they don't come, and the lecturers were complaining. So now it looks like the university council and the people responsible were not helping the school, because lecturers will go to class and it's just 4 people. You get it? So after mid-semester, if there is SRC week, of course, and the SRC week, Honorable Paul, you happen to be on the board. You know that we were even trying to make sure that during that week we don't go to class. And that is a perfect case. But for the whole weeks and the others, the second week, we can try and put something there. We will try and find something there. But I think that it is a stronger case for us to get this approved, given that at that point there are enough programs being organized to the word is to teach the to teach the interest of students in staying on campus. Do you get it? Even though some will go, but we have to make sure that we have a case to tell them that during that time, most students will not go because you're having a program. But if you go and tell them that during that time, because some people stay at Tamale, and if they are not comfortable with their roommates, their next choice will be that when it is that week, they will not stay here, they will go to Tamale. When you go to Tamale, your parents will not watch you come to Tamale, and 4 days you say you want to come back. Honorable, do you please get me?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So it will affect our academic. That is why we have a program there. But of course, if you want us to change the item there, but to make our case stronger, you have to get an item there to convince the university that we wouldn't be going home. Even though, of course, if you go, nobody. But we have to make our case stronger.
But Mr. Speaker, I will be on campus, but I will decide to go to class or not.
No,
My whole conversation is that, Mr. Speaker, if you are in the house.
But now, I'm not trying to cut you short. If you'll be on campus, but in that state where you're on campus and you're not going to lectures, no lecturer has any reason for. That is why they now, even for my class, final year, there is a lecture that after the lecture, they mention names, you raise your hand and you leave. They are now trying to make sure that it is on the side of the indiscipline of the lecturers. But now, if there is SRC week, they will now blame that because of the mid-semester break, that is why people are not coming to class, so they should cancel it. So for sustainability's sake, we have to put something there.
All right, Mr. Speaker. So, can I proceed now?
Yes, please.
The reason why I'm saying that we as a caucus, all caucus, we started conversations, we submitted our petition, you are aware of that. We are talking about the GCRCs, right? We are talking about whole weeks too. In this case, you've submitted that there should be SRC week, there should be college week, isn't it? Wait. If you are in the house, you have margarine, are you sure your mother is going to add butter too? No, she's not going to do that.
So what you want us to do is...
What I'm saying is that, Mr. Speaker, what all of us here we are yearning for is the whole weeks. You are introducing another conversation that is college weeks. Mr. Speaker, please let me land, I beg you.
No, I get to save us time. The reason is that I feel that you just want us to take the college weeks off and probably say students activities, very generic, so that it will aid there. Yes, you see, I get where you are coming from. And I just want to save us time because the speed. You know how I talk, yes, and the speed at which you are talking is not helping our time. That's why I wanted to cut you short. So please, yes, please. So Honorable Patricia, please take notice of that. Take the college weeks off and make it students activities, just students activities.
So there will be student activities to engage students within that week.
Yes.
Let's not be specific about SRC week.
Yeah. Students activities. All
yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.
My third point is, let's go on the bill. Point 4.
Yes, please.
Sorry, point 5. Academic and extracurricular adjustments during the break. It states that lectures shall not be compulsory during the mid-semester week break. That means that there will be lectures, but it will not be compulsory. Why don't we state that there wouldn't be any lectures?
So please take that one too. Please, let's be very fast.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Please, any more deliberation on that? Please, we shall move to the local Knust hostel endowments bill. Local Knust hostel endowments bill. Please, any considerations on that? deliberations on that? How much is it? How much is it? How much is there?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So we have an amount of 30 Ghana cedis.
30 Ghana
allocated
cedis.
towards the 30 cedis is too much.
I thought it was 30 cities. It's 30 cities.
30 cedis, but this is a successive something. The SRC hostel was started in the early 2000s, and they built it not too long ago. But 30 cedis is too much.
Okay, so we'll talk about, yes, please.
Let's adjust that.
Yes, please. And please, any more considerations? We'll talk about it in recess. Okay, so let's talk about the Global University Students Legislative Forum Bill. Global University Legislation Forum Bill. Honorable Esmond.
Right, Honorable, thank you. It has to do with the local nukes hostel. I wanted to ask, I don't recall seeing the capacity of students that the hostel could accommodate. I just want to remind the committee if they could
yes,
add
please.
that to it.
We will do that to it. I think there is, but maybe it was not captured. So we just, Honorable Thunder wants to talk.
So, Honorable Isman, I believe you attended a meeting with the Vice Chancellor, right? Yeah, so everything about the hostel was displayed there. I said, I believe you
So,
attended.
Honorable Thunder, you have the information as to how many rooms or what is the capacity of the, you have the information.
I can't.
Okay, so we'll find out and then we'll put
so
it in the
I'll
bill.
place the page. Okay. So
Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. And please, any more considerations? Okay, SRC Farms. Since Honorable L, were you able to liaise with Honorable Albert to factor your submissions? Were you able to? Okay. So the truth is, can you trust that you and I will work and make sure that happens? That happens.
Yes, I
on
can.
the board. Can you trust that you and I will work? The reason is that I want us to take a vote on it, but I also want you to give me, because if you don't trust, then you have to take it from the votes and then vote on it later. But I want to give an option where you trust that you and I will make sure that on the board, those things are addressed.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll take your word.
Yes, please. So, please, considerations or deliberations on the SRC farms. Honorable Anthony.
Mr. Speaker.
You have something to say about the global investment? Yeah, we are done.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, but I want to talk about
the global investment. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, there is something that I want to understand well, because if we are to, the funding is from all the members of the universities. In fact, this money, what are we going to use it for? And
the funding is not that you are not going to pay. It is going to be that if I am supposed to contribute to the account, whether I get it through sponsorships or it's just a network we established. I don't know if you see how a network like Okay, let me use very powerful networks, like the EU. You get me? The EU. Government, I mean, let's say if Ghana is paying their quota to EU, we don't know if it's from government budgets, the lobby people within the country, the various, whichever way. But what I know for sure is that students are not going to pay for that. You get me? We can go and beg the VC to give it. We can go and seek for sponsorships as legislators and then send it to them, whichever means. But students are not paying for that.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Then my humble suggestion is that then the chairperson should give us a profound explication on this.
No, this bill is not how it's so. It's that we are hoping to establish a network where all parliamentarians here, parliamentarians or student legislators in Chinese universities, Russian universities, universities all across the globe will have a common platform. So we are pioneering the idea. You get me? So there is not even a chairperson yet. Do you get what I mean? So it is not anything local. We are now, after approval, after our parliament, students of Kenya say, okay, we want something like this to happen. That's why we start talking to them and we know who will be chair and all that. So there is no chair yet. You get me? Yes, please. Honorable Yes, please, Honorable Gifty.
Please, I want to understand something.
Yes,
when you
please.
go to the Global Executive Council,
Yes.
the Executive Council,
Yeah.
the second bullet, it says that the Speaker of the initiating SRC Parliament for the first 3 years. So I want to know
If you're able to gain acceptance this year, it will be me. If next year, it will be the next speaker. If you check the bill, we need acceptance from even the Vice Chancellor.
maybe I'm not getting it right, but it said for the next 3 years. So the same person, right? Or just the title, the Speaker?
No, the same person.
The same person?
Yes.
So if we accept it, it means that you are going to be on it for the next 3
Yes.
years. And
The reason is normally in pioneering something. Have you asked yourself why KNUST for the very first ages used to have white persons as the Vice Chancellor? It is just in those spirits. If you want to pioneer something, normally you have to seize yourself there and make sure that while you are living, it will not collapse after you've left. You get me? So I think one time I was bathing and then it came to my mind that, so what happened to, what's the name?
what if you travel?
Joshua.
What if you travel?
It's global.
Okay.
Please.
So you are going to be committed to this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What if, what is the TB Joshua? And TB Joshua died, what happened to his church? Do you get me? Sometimes if the person is not there, it kills the spirit of what you are trying to do. That's why I want whatever house to. Yes, please. Honorable Jake, please. Honorable Jake, I like your tie. Yes, that is our work. You see, it is not just to how we also have a mandate of wanting to work with higher and powerful diplomatic institutions like the UN. So if the forum is making the case of maybe sustainable water supply to universities, you get me, and they want a pitch for UN to give maybe some money for that to be done. And then it's from, let's say, 2 universities in China, 2 universities, it looks like, are you people serious? You get me? But if it's at least 7 from those, at least each continent, it makes a stronger case. So unless we are able to, and it is on the shoulders of us as parliamentarians here to make sure that that's what happened. I think Honorable Tando from here, after you accept it, you will start those days. We would see which people we would put to, and then please, when we give you those mandates, please, let's make it happen. put in charge of trying to lobby rich continents and all that. Yeah. And if possible, you may even make travels. That is if you have money. If you don't.
And again, on the continent, how are we going to specify that this country, like how many universities is each country presenting?
It depends on our struggle. If, so far as we say continent, so if we are not getting from other Asian countries and China is willing to give us 8, we'll just take the 8 and go. Later, then we'll try to expand. Do you get me? Yeah, because we want to, later then we'll try to expand and make it so decentralized. I don't know if you get.
Yeah, I get it, but maybe if they could include it in a bill so that
it will restrict the success of the network. Do you get me? Because it means that now, if all universities in the parts of Europe is not willing, except Germany, and Germany is able to give us 13, we are not going to take that and still make struggles in trying to get France, trying to get. So, I feel that it will impact the success rate of the forum. You get me? So later, when we have more, then we can say that, oh, now we want to be fair. So Germany can only bring 1. Africa can only bring, what is it called? Ghana can only bring 1. Do you please get what I'm trying to say? Yes, please. But now let's just move for as many as we could. Honorable Agatha, please.
Hello. About this bill, please pardon me. I'm trying to understand the relevance of making it a bill. Because if we are trying, from the idea I'm getting about what this bill is about, we are trying to establish a forum where we can share ideas and make connections. We can reach out to universities and start a conversation and start something, but I'm unsure as to why we have to make it a bill. And having all of these, like,
the reason is
a body constitution, okay. I mean, not like constitution, but like a body that has to regulate. It's an information hub. Like, if I want to be part of it, I can be part of it. I can opt out. But why are we making it a bill?
Okay.
Yeah,
so thank you.
That's my question.
The reason is that you are, at the end of the day, going to talk to, let's say you're going to talk to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, that you want them to join a forum that even within your school doesn't have any legal framework backing. You get me? Some persons are going to travel on behalf of these. Of course, we said that the land should be on campus. And for sustainability's sake, and we are trying to build something big. A lot of forums have been, this is not the first youth forum or the first youth student forum we are trying to build, but there is no youth forum that has university backings. Do you please get what I mean? And that is what we are trying to build. The what students are in school, what students are in tertiaries, what students are in, not tertiary, universities, they now have a forum that is global. Do you get what I mean?
Can I ask follow-up questions?
Yes, please.
So, if they are to join this forum, are they going to be held within certain regulations and restrictions to act? Like,
I can't hear you.
Like, if there's going to be a forum, like if we are to go through with this thing, are there going to be rules that they have to comply by? Like, are they going to pay
yes, of course,
dues, all of these things?
We don't have dues. We are not going to pay dues. I think the bill states we are not going to pay dues. So there is more or less like a vision for it. So the vision is to make sure that at the end of the day, young people in universities have a say in global political, geopolitical, and then especially matters of diplomacy. You get me? But if it's just a network, what gives you that card to be welcomed by the UN? You are just as ordinary as all the other youth agencies out there. You get me? But in when other schools, all other schools have brought representatives on the forum, it makes it more powerful. That is why we want our universities to accept that this is what students of Knust wants to do. And it also builds the diplomatic aspirations of honorable members that come to the house, because they'll get to work with institutions and frameworks that are familiar with world power diplomatic institutions. You
So
get
if I'm
what I
getting
mean?
you right, the goal of this bill is to create a forum where where the youth would have a say in global
Student
politics.
legislators.
Student legislators would have a say in global politics.
Yes.
So we would be on the
share
same table where
and share legislations that are aiding their universities, or maybe university. Maybe, for example, I don't think lots of universities out there have mid-semesters after, or mid-semester breaks. You get me? But we are going to have. So if, as a result of being in this forum, if China, universities in China get to know that this is one of the legislations that the students were able to make, they can mimic it. You get me? So I think that there are lots of times when you have people that have schooled in the UK, US, they come and they tell you, especially with finance, how they are able to give a lot of financial packages to the students, and you are shocked. How does this happen? You get me? So all those are things that are advantages that we'll get from being on the forum, and then we can equally bring it here. Honorable Pascal, Honorable L, in that order.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to add, I think, some information to this bill.
Yes, please.
I've been trying to sit and analyze it, and from my little experience over the years, I've realized that it is a very, very important and impactful initiative. And I want to add certain advice to it. I don't know who is in charge, the committee.
Honorable Tando.
Exactly. But to start with, I think this is something that is going global, so it is very demanding. And so let me say the policies or the strategies that you put in place should be very strategic and very specific. To start with finances, for example. Let us know where are the funds coming from, who's contributing or who's funding the activities. And if there are no funds involved, how do we sustain it? Then I want to link it to, I don't know if you've participated, I've had the opportunity to participate in the Model United Nations Summit, where you represent different countries to advocate for problems and find resolutions and solutions to them. So I think this is almost in the similar manner that we are different youth leaders from different universities coming together to share ideas and initiatives on how best we can tackle some of these world-leading challenges. So I think one of the strategies we can copy from them is to be hard on utilizing partnerships, because you realize that even students from China, students from Canada, there's less you can do because you are all students. But when you start to bring in maybe organizations like the United Nations Youth Assimilation Programs, you start to bring in maybe, let me say, the Youth Advocacy Program. There are a lot of summits that are ongoing right now across the globe. When you start to partner with such bodies, when you start to partner with government institutions, and when you start to partner with some of these non-governmental organizations, you discover that it will be so easier for the voices to be heard and the solutions to be implemented. For example, when you are participating in the MOON, United Nations Model Summit, what they do is they get all the solutions that have been suggested by the students, and they are presented to the United Nations headquarters in New York. So what I want the bill to think of is the strategic partnerships we can get. Then also, how best do we lobby some of the government organs and institutions on board. Trust me, it will be so good if this bill is to go global and it is known that it came from KNUST. Now, what I want to also advise is the aspect of choosing the participating countries. Let's not just go for, maybe let me say, for names, or let's not just go for sake of filling the spaces. Let's be intentional about which university and which institution will add the value that this forum requires. For example, China, quite right, is doing well, but when it comes to advocacy, they are not so competent, and I'll tell you one reason. Their legislature in nature is more of a dictatorial setup. So in China, you discover that even their freedom of expression is to some extent limited. Even the apps you use, they are all controlled. But when you talk of countries like the USA, Germany, UK, those are some of the countries that are championing leadership, especially student leadership. And so when we are trying to attract some of these countries, let's be intentional so that we don't just pile up names and yet we are not being effective. The same thing with, I overheard the speaker saying we can have 8 countries from one country if they are the ones who are willing. For me, I would like to say that's not going to help. Because if you have to go global, yeah, I'm wrapping up. If you have to go global, you have to, okay, I want to come again on the point I said that if we want to go global, we should not just focus on how many are willing to come, and then we pick them. Like I overheard the speaker saying, if there are 8 universities from China who want to join, and others are not interested, then we'll pick those 8. What you'll be doing is you'll be forming a bilateral parliament instead. We should be intentionally saying, if it is 2 or if it is 4, then that should be the max from a country, so that we do not end up with 2,000 of parliaments in one, all coming from maybe just the same continent. I don't know if my point is heard. So we should be intentional on even the participants, because if you just leave it up to be so crowded and it will not be controlled, people have to apply to be on it. And it should not be like, just because you are part of KNUST, you are KNUST Parliament, you are also part of that. How about those in Legon? How about those in Ashesi? How about those in Zambia, Uganda? I mean, all over the world. It will be so chaotic. So we should have this qualification and this body that qualifies who come on that front. Because in the long run, it will open many doors to other opportunities, including networking. So I wanted to add this to just add more light, shed more light to how best we can be thinking towards actualizing this vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. I think most of it extensively speaks on
God is granting me. The speaker, this one is working. The reason being that God is on my side.
it on the track, let's get it up.
Speaker. The standing order says that order number 42.3. When the question has been put by the speaker at the conclusion of a debate, votes shall be taken by voice, yea or nay, unless the speaker by discretion call for a head count. So, Mr. Speaker, let's just start with yea or nay. If there is any, if it's questionable, that is when we head to head count. Thank you very much.
Hello. The truth is, I do not want to take interest in this. All those in favor of head.
But, Mr. Speaker, please, with us accepting that we are going by yeah or nay, does not mean that if you hear nay, it means nay. If there is complication or what we are doing is questionable, someone can opt in for a head count.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
All those against the adoption and acceptance of the mid-semester break. Shall I hear you say
Nay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The submissions that we made today, are they going to be, was for the nooks, what do we call it? Bill like this. He said it is 3 cities and it is written as 30 cities. What if we accept it and then later on when we go, we see 30 cities in our. So you should trust your words that all the submissions that will be written in the minutes will be included in the bills. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
On the order and role of the House, the mid-semester break has been duly accepted and passed by the 16th KNST SRC Parliamentary.
Nay. My point is, if the voice, it seems that this one is equal. So, it's equal. Mr. Speaker, it will be better if this one, we do it a head count.
We didn't discuss it. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, so no, I would actually want us to finish it before, but let's do the others. Then we'll do the discussion, and then we'll see if we do it or not. Yeah, so that at least. So all those, but you discuss any other, because I don't want to do anything you didn't discuss. Okay. So all those in favor of the Students Mutual Fund, shall I hear you say yeah, yeah? All those against, shall I hear you say nay? On the roll and the order of the House, the Students Mutual Fund has been duly accepted by the 16th Parliamentary Council.
When you are accepting it by the words, you have to add that subject to what do you call it, amendment, just as we talked about. Because if you say it has been accepted, it means it has been accepted. But you have to work on the submissions that we talked about.
Yes, please. All right, thank you. All those in favor, Please, we are taking a vote on the disability representation for disabled students. All those in favor of the bill, shall I hear you say yeah, yeah? All those against, shall I hear you say nay? All those against, shall I hear you say nay? The yes have it. On the order and the whole of the House, the disabled students representation bill has been duly accepted and adopted, subject to the submissions, the capture of the submissions made today from the minutes. We are taking a vote on the local NUCS hostel endowment fee. All those in favor of the bill, shall I hear you say yeah, yeah? All those against, shall I hear you say nay? Please, may I have your all those in favor, shall I have a head count? All those in favor. Please raise your hands high. The hostel. In favor.
Mr. Speaker, I think some of us are not understanding it. It's not that we are accepting the 30 cities. Mr. Speaker just talked about it. That there is something that needs to be done about it. And then it is. So it's not that we are accepting the 30 cities, right? We are accepting the idea that will be built for us. And then with that, we are going to pay an amount. Please, I'm coming. We are going to pay an amount, isn't it? And then it is written here that it is 30 cities. But Mr. Speaker is saying that it will be amended. It will be changed from 30 cities to 3 cities. He just said it, didn't you?
Yes. That was what I knew of earlier. But if you still don't want us to put to vote, I have mentioned earlier that I've mentioned earlier that I'm just a moderator. If you don't want, yes, please.
My request is, whenever we have a bill, please let those guys, let the honorable members chairing it come to the House so that we can have all the questions and deliberations as well as other suggestions that will improve the bill. Because it's like this bill was discussed outside the House and only here we are only getting chaffs of the bill. And we have to know that whatever decision we are taking here will affect our people. So for me, I wouldn't want to be in a position where I even vote for or against because I don't understand it in the first place. So my suggestion is, and sorry to say, but Mr. Speaker, you are not the one chairing or the one in charge of this committee. So if they are giving you extra work, that should not be yours. Please, if it means to suspend this bill, let's put it aside. Let them send the rep if it means, so that they can come and deliberate on it, and then we'll be able to vote wisely. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So, you see, unlike for the SRC shop, the reason why I said we will discuss it is not like NUCS is matters of amount. But SRC looks like people don't understand what it is, so we will discuss that. But NUCS, I would want to take a last vote, and then if the vote says no, it means I will still go back to the committee for the committee to work on it, and then for it to come back. Yeah, so I would want to take honorable Tando.
So already an amount of 300,000 cedis has been set up for seed fund, okay, for the NUCS hostel project. also from the news office. Also, Honorable L asked for the capacity. So it's 2,000 capacity, okay, which includes 4-in-1 rooms, okay, about 500 of them. So if you have any question, you can also bring it. So with regards to a news hostel, already there has been 300,000, okay, cities set for the seed fund, okay, for the project. That's coming from the news coffers. And he asked for the capacity, so it's 2,000, okay, and it includes 4-in-1 rooms. That's about 500 of them. So if you have any extra question, you can bring it on board. But with the amount, we would have to go back to the table and discuss.
I think the main problem is that the main problem, not just the price. Okay. Okay, so let's put it aside and let's move. Let's put it aside.
But before I'll sit down, please, if you have any suggestion. So before I will sit, please, if you have any suggestion, okay, concerning the Nooks hostel, please, when we are done with sitting, you can just type it into my DM, okay? Thank you.
But please, honorable members, please, if you don't take the page serious, it is very worrying. We did all this. You people could have done all this there, so that by now we would have exhausted that. You don't wait, and when we have to do this, that's why you are saying minchu. Once you could have said minchu on the page. So that because we could have settled, no, we would have made progress if all those issues, whether amount or whatever, was captured there, and we had spoken to the next president, we have agreed on an amount, that is a what's that problem? But you don't wait and take your parliamentary duties less, and then you come and sit here and say, you have this, you have this, you have this. Please, you are wasting all of us, our resources. Please don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. That is not honorable.
I think today you've been so kind that you're allowing me to speak. I'm really grateful. Mr. Speaker, I want to speak on this bill. This bill is a bill that was not presented here in our last sitting. At least if it was presented like the other bills were done, we would have a fair idea. Yes, I mean, to be presented like the way other committees presented here. This is an initiative that, to my best of knowledge, though I was absent, I was following from my phone. It was presented during a meeting with the VC. And the question is, who deliberate on an initiative in VC's presence? And in that office is not our official house for deliberations. So it's simply a bill that has not come to the house. That's what we can say. Okay, we introduced, but it has not passed deliberations, meaning the house has not had any further scrutiny on it. That's why I'm saying that my simple plea is, if we have a bill like this one, let the committee in charge come here, because there are so many factors. It's just that he has put it clear that we have to submit to him. That 300K he's talking about is a very small money when it comes to construction, because just the Brunei hostel there is about 120 rooms capacity, and it took years to be completed. Not because they didn't want, but the funds. Yes, so please, we'll submit our suggestions and let the committee in charge bring further information for us to be able to pass our judgment. Thank you.
But for the deliberation, today we open floor for deliberation of those ones. We said deliberation on all existing bills, and clearly we deliberate, but just that people chose not to talk. But that is fine. Please, shall we move forward? We are taking a vote on the SRC farms. Honorable Paul, please have your seat. We are taking a vote on the SRC farms. All those in favor of the SRC farms, so I hear you say, yeah. All those against the SRC farms, shall I hear you say, nay? Okay. On the role and order of the House, the SRC farms has been disapproved and recommended for further deliberation and inputs from the committee. On the role and order of the House, the local Nooks Hostel Endowment Fund bill has been disapproved and referred to the committee for further deliberations. we are taking a vote on the Global University Students Legislative Forum. All those in favor of the bill, shall I hear you say yeah? All those against, shall I hear you say nay? All those in favor of the bill, shall I hear you say yeah? All those against, shall I hear you say nay? So I want to know, what at all have you said here? That's very distracting. Mr. Mister, I didn't hear you say nay for Mr. Mister. Well, that's very, it's a representation of the Katanga people. So you have to do your work. All right, so on the will and order of the people, the Global University Student Legislative Forum has been duly approved and accepted by the Honorable 16th Parliamentary Council of the SRC. Please, we shall do a very short. If the issues are plenty, we just refer it back to the committee on the SRC shop. Because I'm the sponsor, I just want to know. But if the issues are plenty, I've told you that I'm just a moderator. We just go back, work on it, and bring it. Yes, please. So, with the SRC shop, we are not paying money. We are only going to give a space from the SRC hostel out to a partner. Then the partner will establish a shop, sell goods to students at wholesale prices. So instead of the SRC to pay, because the idea was that the SRC itself will establish its shop. But that's going to be costly and will take a lot of years. So now what we've gone in for is for a partner to come and then sell at wholesale prices at the SRC, run 24-hour, employ students, use students as, Okada, riders, have, delivery services and all that, all the ideas of the SRC, just that this one, because if you want to do it, at best, what we can do is leave some seed funding, the others will come and continue, the politicking will go on and then it will die off. And we'll never get to attack the issue of food prices. But if we have an opportunity where we can make money for value for the money we hold as students, where as least as we hold, we can make value for them, then they will compare the others around, and they will I don't think it will kill other businesses, because how many people will be able to go there to buy? You all know that Continental supermarket, right? They sell at wholesale price, but how many of us go to the place? So it's just an option for the students. But I'm still welcoming further questions, and if there are more, we just refer it back to the committee. Honorable Paul.
Thank you very much. I think this House must have a copy of the partnership that the SRC is going with Chaperone Enterprise.
That is what is in the bill.
Yeah.
Every detail of the partnership is what is in the bill. That is what
I'm talking about the partnership document. Because when you are going in partnership with someone, you need a document. So this is what I'm providing.
Please, how many of us have opened the bill? Every aspect of what you do in partnership with somebody is what is in the bill. If there is anything left out, please let me know. So the bill is actually, you look at it. Please, let's take time and go through. Please, 3 minutes more, then we'll continue. The space that will be given, renovation and everything will be done by them. I think all those things are settled. The SRC is not spending anything on it. Yes, please. Yes, please.
I talk.
No, I thought you were still digesting the document. So let's honorable and speak when he's done. Yes, please. It should have been SRC Parliament. Maybe I forwarded. Yeah, we've changed it. Maybe I still forwarded there. Let me see if I can still get the current one. It's the SRC Parliament, not the General Assembly. I want to see. He said that was part. Please go through what I just sent there, because we revised that. Because what we have is we now increase the part 5 we have. Let me just forward it again to the page. The part 5 we have what we have now is 2 parliamentarians will be on the board from time to time, so we don't even have to be having quarterly updates, because if something is going wrong and you're saying quarterly, by the quarter the thing will go so wrong. So as far as the parliamentarians on it, anything that happens and it's not in favor of students, they just tip us off and then we just summon the issue. You get it? I think I've just sent anyone. Oh no, but I want to hear you. I've sent one last. I've just sent one to the page right now. Can you check and open that one? Oh. Okay, so financial management, because the SRC is not going to put in any money. Financial management and partnership. The shop shall be funded through partnership, giving rest the SRC's budget for a period of 15 years. Partnership shall be developed with Chaperon Enterprise. That's what we have there now. I've just sent it to the page. And the reason is because they are not, but on the board, if maybe they are now trying to build any schemes on it, on the board, initially it was just a parliamentarian, now we've made it 2. You get me? So if maybe the last time they met, something was going wrong, maybe they are treating students, they just take us off and then we act. Not wait for quarterly before they will come. Initially we would have waited before they come and report. We have a lot of people that are supposed to come and report to us, but as you and I sit here, they are failing to come and report. You get me? Oh yes, the parliamentarians themselves, we can actually be, even we can be calling for updates every honorable Paul, yeah.
Mr. Speaker, I'm a business student.
Yes, please.
And then if I ask for documents when it comes to partnership, you have to understand. In this bill, it is never stated how profit will be shared. Yes, and it is something that you have to look at.
How profits will be shared?
Yes, please. The percentage that will be allocated to the SRC and then the percentage for the chaperones.
The truth of the matter is that apart from we finding it ourselves, nobody would agree to come and sell in retail quantities as wholesale prices. You realize that even initially it was and now we had to change it, because when the person came to look at the place, she said that she will have to spend about a quarter of the loan she will be going for in just renovations, and that period is too small for her. You get it? So now we have to now go and make a pitch for another person. You get me?
Let's figure out.
Yes, they will make profit because they're already the wholesale shop. But having to use the profit they are making, let's say this whole year they will make 50 million Ghana cedis as profit, and they are going to use 10 million of their profit. 10 million of their profit into this.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, for us not to be receiving explanations and stuff, let's just get a document of the partnership proposal that we are sending, or the partnership proposal that. Of course, yes, because we can't just accept a bill without knowing what is in for the SRC and what is in for the other side. Mr. Speaker. Yes, so thank you. Thank you.
Just recommend it back to the committee. Please, we'll move to item 7. That's any other credible business. Please, let's make it as brief as possible. It's almost 7. Any other credible business?
Yes, we go.
Honorable Paul.
Yes, very brief. So last year, the 15th Parliament passed a Tech TV bill, which increased our school fees by 13 Ghana cedis. Last year, they paid 7 cedis to Focus FM. This year, we are paying 20 cedis for them to broadcast nationwide. As I'm speaking with you now, I don't know if... I'm saying that last year, a bill was passed that increased our school fees that increased our school fees by 13 Ghana cedis. Yes, please. And then the reason was that Tech TV was going to broadcast nationwide. As at now, I don't know if I turn on my TV, I'll see Tech TV broadcasting nationwide. So it is time that we start asking for where our monies are going to. Yes, so... And then our allowance, Mr. Speaker. Please work on it for us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Please, any other credible business?
Thank you so much for the opportunity given me. We have a lot of updates coming from the UNLC. We have the good side and the bad side. I would like to start with the bad side. One of our honorable member, Honorable Kevin Mchi, Osei, he lost his mom this week. And at this moment, it's not easy for our honorable member. Thank you, honorable members, for the respect given to our co-member, our member, sorry. Right, honorable, I would like to use this opportunity to inform the whole House that if God willing tomorrow, UNLC will be having its vetting right in this House. And also today, this year is going to be the very first time UNLC EC conducting election on KNUST campus. It's a very big achievement for the UNLC. It wasn't easy with the up and downs. So we want to officially inform the House and thank each and everyone how they have been supportive from the very first day. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So now, Honorable Jake's submission makes sense now. Now I get why you were thanking the lawyers. Being the court is not easy. Go and ask why we. Honorable, another submission again.
No, AOCB.
Yeah, I know it's AOCB, but you give your AOCB.
Oh no, there's one more. Mr. Speaker, I think the last time when we had our meeting, we were talking about what happens to our AOCBs. I am still on it. What happens to our AOCBs? I think it is time that we task our SRC president to start moving for some of these things. But there are a lot of monies that we as students, we are paying, and then we are not seeing what is going on. So let's start moving to the AOCBs. But we talk about it, nothing is done about it. I don't understand, Mr. Speaker. It is disheartening. I'm even...
Thank you, Honorable Paul. Honorable Ismail, the Honorable Patricia. Please give my very Honorable Ismail the microphone. Please, they will be the last to speak. College caucus.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Okay, thank you, Honorable. Please, this has to do with a structure that we need in my constituency. Okay, there are 2 bus stops. It's not necessarily an allocated space or bus stop, but due to the way students and then the rest, yes, they've made it a bus stop. Now, if you go to Gaza, right, which is part of my constituency, there's a bus stop there. But due to the way the shuttles run now, going from Medical Village to Gaza, then back to campus, we don't use the bus stop again. Now, this spots that students stand or lodge to wait for the shuttle. Honorable Speaker, it's very appalling when it is raining and you are standing there, you should never show. When you are standing there and the sun is shining. At Gaza? Yes, at Gaza. So I think last semester I was requesting for a sitting area because if those things were there or those structures were there, at least it will ease the way students would have to wait for the shuttle. And then with the other bus stop too that I'm talking about, there's nothing there. As I was saying with the first one, the Gaza one, when it's raining, it's bad. When the sun is shining, it's also bad. And then lastly, Honorable, please, this is very important to me. From Agric Junction, straight to, there's a junction going to Gaza, it is called Horses Junction. Honorable Member, sorry, Right Honorable. There's no pavement there, right? It's just the road and then a sidewalk. Now, students use that place, okay, and then residents around those places too, and residents around that area to also use the same route. Now, if you are in a shuttle or you are in a car and then you see students walking by the road, it's really dangerous, Honorable. I remember on one account, one man met us. It was raining. At that time, the shuttles were having issues, so we had to walk. He met us and then he picked us in his car and he said, during his time as a student, one of his colleagues were knocked down by a car because they were walking by the roadside. Yes. So he said he wished that students don't walk there. So please, with the bus stop structures or the sitting areas, and then also the pavement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Patricia. Please, you may have the floor. Honorable Clinton, you want to speak?
Thank you so much, Right Honorable. I'm actually grateful that we've been able to do a lot today. I'm actually so grateful that we've actually done some progress today in the House. But I would love to first of all thank Honorable Paul for bringing this to my attention. Mr. Speaker, the ISA logo is not found on the SRC Parliament logo. I would love to know why that is the case. And if it was in plan, when exactly will it be done? Because we need to let our people know that ISA is a full and parcel of the SRC KNUST initiative. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, as Honorable Kakari mentioned, there's actually quite a lot of things on the bill, the school fees bill that we are being taxed for. But the money, we don't know where the money is going to. So I don't know if we are allowed as a house to deliberate on that particular document and actually analyze and maybe present the issue to the school's administration so that we can use, maybe if the money is just hanging somewhere, we could use it for better things. Then,
please,
yes.
You have the floor.
Yes. Then I would love to also make mention of the street lights issues from Aidrasi, from Honorable Tando, Aidrasi South. So he will continue and then I will end.
So, Mr. Speaker, you know we've been presenting this problem on the floor of Parliament for a very long time. For a very long time, we've presented it to DOSA and still I think when we presented it to DOSA, they told us to go and take the locations of where the street lights are worn out. But still, we've not gotten any solution to the problem.
Yes, please.
And the second one is, Mr. Speaker, please, with the Constitution amendment, okay, I'm asking, when are we going to start? Because...
Honorable Paul, are you listening?
Yes. When are we going to start amending the Constitution? Because, Mr. Speaker, if we don't amend the constitution. We are going to go back and forth with this.
Honorable Paul, if you don't
Thank
amend
you.
the constitution, you are going to go back and forth with this.
Okay. As a continuation, thank you so much, Honorable Tando. The last thing I would want to say, Mr. Speaker, is we have a lot of bills being given to us to analyze and work on as committee. And this is just a general point of view. I think I've worked in about maybe 5 committees, and generally, maybe 1 or 2 people end up working on it. So it's, I don't know if we put in a lot of interest or into working on it. But I just feel like, I don't know, maybe
Yes,
the committee members.
People complain about, Honorable Hackman was talking about the bill. If Honorable Chelsea and Gifty were here, they were calling him all the time. He was not picking. But when you place another committee, he said, hey, but they call him all the time. He doesn't even come for committee meetings. And he wants to be placed on another committee. How is that possible? So please, I said please, take your parliamentary duties seriously. Please.
Thank you so much. You've just taken the final words from my mouth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you. Honorable Clinton will talk. Honorable Clinton, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honorable. The licensing system from the cat, the hall.
It's the back there.
The back there.
Oh, we've told this, sir. We've told this, sir. Honorable Tando, am I lying? We've told this, sir. I can't say that on camera. We've told her.
So when? All right, sure, thank you. And also, I would like the whole caucus to wait behind after this sitting for a short meeting, okay? Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, please still capture what he said. Please still capture what he said. Honorable Operator, Honorable Paul, then that is all.
Right, Honorable. So please, thank you much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. There's an issue there's a problem between White House and Frontline Inn. There had been a new constructed gutter, but unfortunately, there is no bridge on it. And that issue have reached to our table through my senior Twitter. Now
between
White House Hostel and Frontline Inn. There had been some construction there. Are you asking notes? The bridge, the place that was flooded last semester, there had been a bridge. And aside,
but my problem is that there is no what on it?
They constructed a gutter. And there's no slab for the student to be able to cross the gutter. So you don't get it. We are coming from White House.
But I just passed there. Is it not a big one there?
So the big bridge, beside the big bridge, they've
constructed another gutter.
Gutters, yes,
okay.
Leading to the bridge.
Okay.
Yes. So they were supposed to, let me say, slabs or put something on it so that the student can cross.
Okay.
Oh, they said the right term is covert. Yeah.
No, that's not the right term. The covert is what they've done. The big one is the covert.
Right, Honorable. We are working on that, and we are doing our best.
The covert is not the big one. Yes. The covert is which one? That is what they use. The covert is the round, small things they use to build. So the covert. So which one is the covert?
Right, Honorable. Slabs. We are done. Slabs.
So but the slabs are not called coverts. Coverts.
Forget about them. You don't
I should forget about her. Okay, so Honorable, please talk. It's good that she educated us. Honorable, please talk.
Thank you. So we are doing our best to reach out to the engineer, the constructor, to work on that through our senior teachers. Right, Honorable, I want to use this opportunity to inform the House and those who've joined us through online that this year UNLC election, our constitution is working actively. So if you don't stay in the constituency, kindly don't file for a nominee forms. You'll be disqualified. Don't do that. Also, our students are supposed to be aware that any legal thing or any case they report to DOSA, actions are being taken of it. This year, I've been working hand with DOSA. There had been some issues being reported. Someone just said something with his mouth, which is illegal or which is criminal. They said it's a criminal statement. Because of that, the person has been in the cells for 3 days. So I'm using this opportunity to encourage our students, when something happens to you, please don't hesitate to let us know or go to DOSA and write your statement. Also to our colleagues out there, we should take good care of ourselves. We should be careful because there are rules and regulations governing this institution. Thank you so much, Right Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Paul talks then. Oh, Honorable
right.
Jake.
So, Mr. Speaker, please, I have 3 submissions and I'm done. First is the SRC vetting. Certainly there will be vetting this year, and then I think Parliament is abreast with issues and then we represent students. So I think the SRC EC should get a parliamentarian, if not 1, 2, to be on the vetting panel, so that yes, Mr. Speaker, please, I don't know if I have your attention.
You have my attention.
Yeah, so the SRC EC must include a parliamentarian on the SRC vetting panel. Also, we've not heard from the Budget and Finance Committee about the budget of the SRC EC, but we keep on hearing that the SRC EC is spending. So, Mr. Speaker, please start working on that for us.
Budget, sorry, privilege. Honorable Paul, the reason is I want you to be very fast, please.
All right. So, secondly, the access systems in the halls are still not functional. Thirdly, about the JCRC elections, election dates came out. We had colleges, ISAs, what have you, on the list and then their dates. JCRC elections are not back, Mr. Speaker. I would like to give some more explanation if you grant me like 2 minutes.
You can.
Thank you very much. So JCRC elections weren't added because
Honorable
JCRC...
Paul.
So what I'm saying is that JCRC elections is not part for the aspirants and then the people, the residents in the hall that are afraid that this year we will not do JCR elections. It's not decided yet. It's not decided yet if we will do it or not. But there is hope that we will do it this year. So conversations are started, and then we've submitted whatever we are supposed to submit, and then we are praying that the JCR elections will be back. So don't be afraid that there wouldn't be JCR elections. Certainly there will be, but it has to take procedures. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Jake, I believe your submission will be very short. That is all. All right, thank you. We will move to the 8th item. That is adjournment and announcement. Hello. Honorable members, please, when you come for sitting, write your AOCBs down. Please. You don't... Honorable Ismail, please talk.
Right, Honorable, I'm very sorry for joining us back. But this has to do with attendance. I was thinking, or more or less like a suggestion, that when a date is set for a sitting, we try as much as possible to contact every single parliamentary member and then find out if they'll be able to make it. So that it doesn't look like we come for parliamentary sitting and then most of the seats are empty.
You said we should try and reach out.
I'm saying it's more or less like a suggestion.
Oh, we can reach out to the IDL and the satellite camp. But those of you on campus, honestly, you should take parliamentary duties seriously. We try our best to make sure that the day we are choosing is favorable.
Yes.
And accurate. But we can't reach out to all of you. We'll never have a day.
Okay.
But for the IDL, the Obuasi, I mean, those people, of course, we try and reach. Okay. We try reaching out to them.
Honorable, please, lastly, please, they were making, should I say, a suggestion, or they made, they spoke about something pertaining to the EC. Lastly, he hasn't been approved, so I don't know if there's something we can do about whatever is going on? As
We
it is
work on
pending
it
and-
with the appointment committee. His
Okay.
approval status and all that.
Okay, thank
We
you.
work on it. All right,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That is all. My announcements are very simple. Please, I would want to take one last vote before we go. I would want us to be having our sittings online unless it is a very important. I know that all of them are important. You get me? Because we will be working back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that we can, and of course, you all know that online sitting has higher allowance. So I want us, because we can, I think that we can even take a vote online. We just have to all press the hands up button. Then it just means then we can count, and then that will be all. So we will be doing most of our sittings online. And the other thing too is that the privileges committee, I want you to summon all honorable members that were absent without reasons. Summon them. Summon them. Why they think that students Honorable Paul, what has he done? But he's not speaking. I've not recognized what he's saying. Okay, so but the truth is, you can actually write. You just have to write to the clerk that you are sending Honorable Paul to the privileges. When the guy said he can defend himself, I have given that approval. You can write. Then it means that he should actually be there. The more reason why he should be there. Thank you, honorable members. So that is it. We will be doing most of our sittings. So we'll be calling for a very short sitting so that it can be as short as possible. And so we can be doing 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, so that we go back, we would have a very effective parliamentary sessions. Thank you so much, and thank you all for coming. The floor is open for a motion to be filed for the adjournment of the sitting until further notice. Honorable Pascal, you have the floor. Honorable Pascal, you have the floor. She can second. Please, the whole caucus, don't forget that Honorable Clinton wants to meet you.
Thank you so much.
And please, Honorable, sir, the committee, the caucus, the privileges committee, I want you to summon the caucus head for the college caucus on a very special note and tell me why her people are not here. Tell me why his people are not here. Honorable.
Thank you.
Honorable, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable. Before I move the motion, I just want to also say that today at ISA we're having a very interesting event, which is the vetting of our next leadership. So I want to take this precious moment to wish all the candidates the best of luck and encourage all our ISA members to vote wisely so that ISA can continue to be great. On that note, I, Pascal Milamba Mzung, Honorable Member and President of the International Student Association, move the motion for the adjournment of our meeting today.
Thank you. Any second, Honorable Itel.
I, Honorable Itel Adai Mensah, the General Secretary for Africa, who second the motion, moved by Honorable Pastor.
Thank you. On that notice, our second sitting of the second session of our Parliamentary Council, which was meant for bills introduction, deliberation for acceptance, has been duly adjourned until further notice. Most of our sittings will, of course, be online. Closing prayer. Please, it looks like one of you came to my office and has taken my standing orders. Has taken my standing orders. Please, I'm begging. Bring me my standing orders. I have to be using the phone too. Okay. Thank you so much. Closing prayer. Oh God, grant us a vision of our university, fair as it might be, a university of righteousness where none shall wrong his neighbor, a university of plenty where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a university of brotherhood where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a university of peace where the SRC shall rest on the will of the people and love for common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Kenya, Ghana, and Africa. Amen. Marshal, recess.